On behalf of Honeycomb Creative Support and Photostop, I want to welcome ladies and gentlemen to Reels of Wonders. Now, a lot of people have asked, I'm sure those who have attended every day have heard me mention this over last 6 days, but for all those who haven't attended any of them before, I just want to mention for the benefit of them that Reels of Wonders, because a lot of us have started photography journey when it used to be analog cameras, camera reels, and transparent sheets and all that stuff that we used to use. And today we have graduated into the technology era. So we thought, why not call this as Reels of Wonders, which is our International Photography Week theme 2020. My name is Mithun Prabhu, and I handle PR and marketing for Photostop, which is a printing brand of Honeycomb Creative Support, which is which has offices in India, in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. I am an IT professional by work, but a passionate travel photographer by heart. Photography is in my DNA, and I love what I click. And all those who follow me on Instagram, my handle is @Mithun Prabhu without any space, MITHUN PRABHU, would definitely agree to that statement. We are celebrating International Photography Week 2020 this whole week with 7 different genres of photography, 7 eminent photographers, and 7 full days of the week, which is culminating today, that is August 22nd. We had a wide variety of topics. In fact, like I've always mentioned, we started in the wild, went to the land, then traveled to the sea, then participated into salons, took a flight into stars and cosmos, went into the tiny world of macro yesterday. And today, for the grand finale, we travel along with Deepak into the, around the world with his travel photography pictures. All the eminent speakers, as you would have seen, had taken utmost care to curate the photographs themselves. They are going to share their unique experiences, which you've already seen, but Deepak is specifically going to add more of his travel experiences and storytelling value to it. Show breathtaking photographs and share tips with all of us that not only takes us through an enjoyable journey, but into the wonderful world of photography. That's the passion that we all share. So welcome all, and let's get rolling into the Reels of Wonders. Like I mentioned, the theme for International Photography Week 2020, which we also call as IPW 2020. Today, again, I want to repeat, it will definitely take 2 hours of time. So please, be enough hydrated, coffee, tea, anything that you want to refresh, please do be around, because Deepak is definitely going to take you travel around the world, who has a wide amount of wide varying experiences and is an excellent travel storyteller. So before we get in, let's do poll quickly. We want to do 2 polls, like I mentioned. So Vinay, if you can just put in the poll onto the screen. So you will get the first poll right now. Please do select your options. And that's coming live right onto your screen. Deepak, sorry, Vinay. Okay, so here we go. Please use your options and select. The question is, how many webinars have you attended in the International Photography Week webinar series, including today's? Please remember, including today's, which is today is the 7th session.
Wow.
So, so yeah, it's definitely wow. It does just Deepak looks like it was as of yesterday.
Wow.
Right? So the answers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So please do select. I'm seeing an interesting trend, Deepak, already. So 20 more seconds before we close the poll.
Yes, indeed.
Nearly 80% have already voted. The remaining 20%, please do exercise. We have 10 more seconds. Okay, 5, 4, 3, close 2, 1, let me close. Okay. Okay, I just want to share the results. So Nofel, as you see, and Deepak, you as well, we have nearly 35% who have stayed with us all 7 days, which is wonderful. So I just want to give a clap for all of you, who have joined us all 7 days. And all some of you who missed probably, 2, 3, 4 sessions, do not worry. All the links will be available on the Honeycomb YouTube channel for you to go and see. And those who attended will definitely get it as a link in the email. Okay, so that's great. Thank you very much, guys. And can we, when I have the second poll, please, let's quickly do that as well. So there'll be a second poll. Yeah, so this is more for Deepak to know how many of you in the attendees are travel photographers or have tried travel photography before. It's perfectly fine if you have not tried before or you want to learn more. Do not be having that inhibition that how do I mark? Please do mark in. I know there are a lot of people are still joining in. Welcome everyone who have joined in last couple of minutes. There is a poll that is happening right now. Please keep typing. I already see 72% voted. And as expected, the trend is very interesting, Deepak, as you see.
Yes, very. Yes.
Okay, 20 more seconds before we close. Come on, guys. It's just 81%, 82%. Yes, I think we need everybody to mark in so that Deepak knows. Okay, 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me just close. Okay, and I'll just quickly share it for you. Okay, so Deepak, as you see, amateurs down to want to learn more, I think is roughly around 65%, roughly 64%, and we have 6% of them experts. Wonderful. So welcome all those 13 people who have marked them as experts. We would definitely want to hear, if you have anything to share with you can always use the chat in case if you have more information to share, please. Okay, so that's wonderful. So Deepak, I hope you have now full throttle to know how to start, right? Okay.
Okay, I think you can hear me and you can see the screen, right?
Yes. Before that, let me just mention this. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. One is I know that traveling tends to magnify human emotions, and I'm sure most of you agree with this statement. And absolutely, there is no barrier in terms of age when it comes to travel. So any one of you who feel I'm too young or too old to travel, there's nothing of that sort. We should travel, and I'm sure we all agree with this. So with this, I wanted to introduce Deepak Samani, who is a travel photographer himself, to talk about his love for travel and photography. He is one of our accomplished international photographer who is Indian at heart, and humor, I normally say, is his second name. Deepak Samani lives in Leicester in UK. He is a photographer by passion and has been photographing for past few decades. His interests include travel with emphasis on people and street photography. As he tapers his professional life, he wishes to visit India more often and increase his life experiences. Presently, he shoots with Fuji X system. One thing I want to mention specifically about Deepak is that I have personally traveled multiple times with him in the past few years, right from Northeast down to South of India. The way he built relationships with unknown subjects, especially on the street, we all should learn that art from him. And I can vouch that statement to the bottom of my heart, because that's how he manages to get some fantastic street photographs. I hope all of you have a wonderful and an unforgettable learning experience with Deepak. But before I hand it over to you, Deepak, I just want to also mention a few things, if you're okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Right. I want the entire Honeycomb team that is right now listening to me to switch on their videos and show themselves on the screen. And I will tell you a reason, because I want, all folks, all attendees who are there on this webinar to give a round of applause for the entire team and the management of Honeycomb who made this happen. The pleasure that you had of joining us, honestly, it was put at very, very short notice. Strategic planning to execution to implementation on ground with creatives, videos, content, social media campaigning to communication. It was more or less just these folks on the screen. So the people that you see on the screen right now, Deepak will have to stop the share.
Sure.
Right. So as we see, this is the set of people starting from Vinay, Shrikumar, Nofel, Mahashweta, Georgie, Sanisha, Akhil, and Harish. So this is the team. I just wanted you to give them a round of applause, because each one has put in so much effort. All that you learned over last 7 days, excluding of course the speakers having their content. So all this was was because of this team that is on the screen. Thank you very much, guys. You rock.
Thank you. Mithun, can I just add to that, if I may, please?
Yeah, of course, you should.
Yeah, these guys have had to put up with a lot of nonsense from me as well, so I really appreciate it.
No, I don't think so. But then, yeah, you're like I said, Deepak has humor as a second name. Okay, thank you, guys. Yeah, over to you, Deepak.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We can see your screen, Deepak.
Okay, everybody can see me and everybody can hear me. Mithun, can you confirm?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so let me start by wishing everybody a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi on this auspicious day today. I'm very fortunate to be presenting to everybody on this day, and I'd like to start by saying Ganpati Bappa Moria, and as we say the word Moria is synonymous with Ganpati Bappa. We don't say Moria in isolation. We say it in the same breath as when we say Ganpati Bappa Moria. So for me, photography is synonymous with travel. From time immemorial, I would say, if you go back to the very earliest cavemen, whether you look at the caves in France or in South America, when people have been there, they have left their imprints, they have left their marks. And I think it's in the human DNA to either leave a sign behind or bring something back with them. In this era, we are very blessed today that we can bring back photographs with us since the evolution which Satish talked about a couple of days ago. And so what I'd like to do is start with your well wishes, and what I have done is curated a few images of mine, and all I have done is captured the moment. It either happened, I either made it happen, or I saw it and observed it. So thank you very much, Honeycomb, for giving me this opportunity today. So here we go on the journey. So as I said, it happened, and so I made some photographs to share with you. So what do we do? An essential part of photography is getting to the destination and walking. And the first photograph here I share with you is an old decrepit shoe I saw on one of my walks in the Peak District, which is not far from where I live. And I thought, okay, we must leave our footsteps behind and nothing else. But in this case, the owner of the house has put an old shoe to good use, and I thought it was quite charming, so I photographed it. This is a view of the area that I walked in. It's a place called the Derbyshire Dales, and it's about 40 miles, about 60 kilometers from where I am. It's a very beautiful area of outstanding natural beauty and a fun place to walk. And there is nothing like Britain in the summer. I'm going to start by saying that it's a beautiful place to be in. This was taken around April time, so you can see the trees are still bare. You can see some very old stone wall cottages, which some of them are now not in use, but you see them all over the place in the Peak District. And Peak District is very famous for its stone walls. And I quite like this image, so I thought I'll share it with you. And so this is hometown. This is near home for me, and I'm now going to take you to a place called Lincoln. Lincoln again is about 50 to 55 miles northeast of where I live. Lincoln is known for its really magnificent cathedral with some amazing arches and really breathtaking architecture. In fact, Lincoln was built in 2 stages. Feel free to go to Lincoln Cathedral's website and have a look at it a little bit more. I just wanted to share this and show you the play of light in black and white. So once I was there, I observed this scenario, and this light was playing from the stained glass windows. You can see in the previous image here, from these stained glass windows here, the light was falling in, and I made a mental note of it and said, okay, this looks rather interesting. So how are we going to make something of this light? And I waited and waited until the setting sun on the western side here was aligned and casting the shadows from the stained glass windows onto these pillars. And I'm actually quite pleased with the outcome from this shot. So what I'd like to say is, when you go somewhere, observe light, see what the potential is, see if you are going to be able to make an image out of it at some point. I could have just taken a picture with the light half on these pillars and walked away and been perfectly happy. But observe a little bit more, be patient, wait for things to happen, and it surely will happen if you take a little bit of time to review it. And this image was featured on Leicester Cathedral, on Lincoln Cathedral's website and their Facebook page, and had a few good reviews. So sometimes it pays to just hold back a little bit in the place you are visiting and see what's going to happen next, because the drama is always being created and it's always changing. So Lincoln is also very famous for something called a Steampunk Festival. And to the best of my knowledge, it holds the largest steampunk festival in Europe. So you get perfectly ordinary people dressed in these attires. They are very, very bizarre and very trendy, as you can see from this snapshot here. And it's a fantastic day out to take time out, go there and engage with people. And these people are very happy to be photographed. That's what they are there for. They're there to have a good time, meet the community, the steampunk community at large, and be photographed. And we were blessed on the day with fantastic weather too. So I thought I'll share something that Lincoln has to offer. So you can see the cobbled streets. This is the old part of Lincoln near the cathedral and the old city walls. And on the extreme right-hand corner, you can see we still have a few red telephone boxes. So just a little bit of observation, guys. When I say guys, I mean both genders. I'm not being gender biased here at all. So, okay, so once we were there were probably, I don't know, on the day, a couple of thousand people. And I saw this fine young lady, and I just approached her. And she was with her partner, and I said, look, I love your attire. I'd like to photograph you. And so I said, so she's leaning on what are the city walls, the old city walls of Lincoln. And I got her to sort of place herself in this, in this position. And as soon as I'd got her there, hordes of photographers crowded because they saw a ready-made scene. So I let them do what they wanted. I waited again very patiently and said, okay, now can you engage with me? And you can see her beautiful eyes. They are looking right on me. So as Mithun said earlier, I think we need to approach people with a very big smile and with very good intentions. And you will find that most of the time, people will engage very happily with you, provided your intentions are good and you are willing to share the photographs with the subjects. So here's another image of the same young lady. You can see she's very cooperative and very happy to share the time with me. And basically, she was happy. I was very happy to have found a subject that I wanted to photograph. So you can see the human interaction, you can see the old city walls, and you can see the posing she did for me. So again, at the same place, there were lots and lots of people, but this lady here reminded me of a television actress from the old days in the UK called Lorraine Chase, and she has a face very similar to her. So again, this is a candid shot. I just observed her, and as she exhaled, I said, okay, time to press the trigger button. So wait for the moment, make it a bit interesting, and a little bit of action in a photograph does not go amiss to make it a little bit more imaginative and a little bit more engaging for your viewers to see. I like this image in black and white. It shows the beautiful tonality and especially her exhaling. So now I'm going to take you from my present home country to Ladakh. So this was in winter last year in Puga Valley. The temperature around here was about -25, -26, and with wind chill, it felt bitterly cold. It actually was snowing at the time, and we'd had about a couple of hours in the afternoon, solid frozen, and then this guy walks in, this herdsman walks in with his flock of Pashmina goats, and it made for a perfect scene with his red jacket, with the mountains in the background, and what you see is there is no clarity because it was snowing quite heavily. I mean, as far as the environment is concerned, you can see this yak horn here. So this is a very unforgiving terrain, and it's a wonderful place to photograph if you are prepared to be in the cold. And here are a couple of residents of the area. So this is in the Puga Valley. So these two, they are over 75 years old, and I was just talking to them, and you can see the lady, she's barely got her eyes open because it was very, very cold. And I was just talking to them and said hello to them. By the way, I love dogs, and they're a very, very beautiful little Mastiff puppy. And he was absolutely gorgeous. And I take that away from this image as well. So when I finished with them, I turned around about 5 minutes later, and this gentleman, he'd walked to go and fetch his herd of yaks, and he'd probably walked a mile. Remember, this is at an altitude of about 4,600 meters, 16,000 feet, and he was walking as if we would be walking in the high street in our town at ground level with absolutely no effort. When we tried to do that, we were absolutely out of breath. I think these guys are very, very special, and they have fantastic features to photograph as well. This was the following morning, and you can see the dog here. He's a Mastiff as well, beautiful dog. And these sheep they're all were being taken out to some of the pastures up in the mountains by the herdsmen. And the young men and the boys and the men, they go away, and the ladies, they stay back and they tend to the flock that is behind the little baby goats, etc. Again, it's bitterly cold. This was early morning, and you can see the cold on the face, can't you? You can see how burnt the skin is and how bitterly cold it is. But there the baby is curious and making good eye contact with me, and I thought I'll share this with you. So this was in Ladakh, and this was again a shot in Ladakh in September last year during a trip that I did with some guys from Bangalore under the banner of Darter, and had a wonderful time. So this is one of the places we camped, and I like the way you can see everything. You can see the sun, you can see in the mountains. So here you've got the Nun and the Kun peaks, the two of the largest peaks in the area, and the sun was setting from the right hand side and casting the shadows over the mountains. So I thought it made for an interesting image. And, so this is one of my favorite landscape shots. I'm more of a people person, not too much into landscapes, but here's one of my shots. Okay, now we head over to Assam, and this is waiting for the ferry to go to the island of Majuli, the river island of Majuli. The sun was setting beautifully. It was, we transitioned from the blue to the golden hour, and just waiting to get on the ferry. And I thought this made a nice photograph. I posted this on Insta and Facebook, and with a caption, "Waiting for the ferryman." So this was on the way to Majuli. Okay, so we went to quite a few interesting places in Majuli. There are several satras which basically promote the various art forms, whether they are written, whether they are dance, music, etc. And this is at a place, I believe, called Kamalabari Satra. So we were there having a wonderful time, and in the distance I heard some music, and I thought, this is strange, where is this coming from? Because we just had a lovely performance for ourselves, and I said, where is this? And I just got curious and wandered off and left the rest of the team behind. And I said, okay, where are we here? And I basically thought, okay, I can hear something. And then as I homed into where the music was coming from, the door was just slightly ajar in this big auditorium that these ladies were practicing in. And I just managed to put my lens through this door and ended up with this image. So watch out, hear out, look out. There are other opportunities as well when you go and visit places. And I would always suggest that do it with respect, and do so that you're not disturbing these people. And please, as a guest, try and minimize any impact that your presence may have on these people. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, these people are oblivious to the fact that I have photographed, and this takes a pride of place in my lounge. This image does. I really like it very much. So, okay, and then in the same place you have young and old residents, and this young man, he is obviously up to some mischief, and you can see that he's got his eyes on someone. At this point in time, we don't know what's going on. There is an element of mystery. He's just sat there, but he's clearly looking at someone. So this is what he was doing. He was waiting for his friend, whom I've just caught in the frame on the right-hand side, as you can see. And as he comes in, he takes his wet towel off his head, and he's obviously doing what most boys, young boys do. So it's not all about just learning and music and drama, but these guys do have quite a lot of fun too in what they do. And they're just like any young boys. And I just wanted to share daily life with you. So now I'm going to bring you back home. This is actually home for me. This is where I live. This is Leicester. So what you see here is a photograph of a place called the Bradgate Park, and it's a country park with this is the highest point. Stands at an elevation of about 1,000 feet, which is not too high, but we go here to see magnificent sunsets. And when we want to look at eclipses, or when we want to look at meteors, this is the place to head out to. So we have a lot of fun when we go to. So I wanted to welcome you with a beautiful sunset shot here of Bradgate Park. What you see on the left-hand side is a tower. It's affectionately called as Old John. And again, if you want to know more about this, then please visit bradgatepark.co.uk. So this is the high street in the town I live in. Now, I just wanted to show you, share with you what the place looks like. Just a few, if you want to show a place, do try and show a marker. I've said here it is, Leicester, there's a map. So for me, this is an interesting composition. I really wanted to focus on the Leicester bit there. And hopefully when you look at this image, you can tell, yes, it's a street scene. It's a street scene of a city, and it becomes obvious that it's Leicester. So for those aspiring guys, try and add a bit of subject. I could have taken this photograph face on, looking at people, but then that would have deviated from my message of trying to show the location of the place. And so here again, this is very much Leicester, and this is a very nice public house, a pub called the Globe, again built in 1720. And this was a scene at Christmas time a couple of years ago, where you had the choir from the University of Leicester who are doing a little bit of fundraising for one of the local charities. Now, I could have just taken an image here, taken a picture of the choir singing with that background, but I did want to show a little bit of action in the image to say, you know, bring a bit of life to the image. So I waited until I got this lady donating generously into the charity box. So this is a very beautiful place, and I do like visiting it. At present, we are all a bit constrained due to the situation. Okay, so it's not all roses, as you can see. Here's a guy, he lives on the streets, but he was sharing his food with his dog, and I have a love of dogs, and he's actually a very gentle dog. When I go into the city, if he's there, I'll always go and have a little play with him and say hello to this guy who's on the streets. So I just wanted to show you the reality of life. There is nothing harsh about it. I'm not trying to be critical. It is just what it is. And I just wanted to share my observations with you. Okay, so we were sitting after a festival in a bar, and this couple, they were just amazing. There was this intensity about them, and they were just engaging with each other, very oblivious to the rest of what was going on. And obviously, I was sat on a table opposite some 15 feet away. So I got myself ready. Thankfully, nowadays, you can just focus lock using your back button autofocus. And I got them ready. And as soon as I saw this composition, I pressed the trigger, and I had 2 or 3 shots. And this is my favorite. You can see the intensity in his eyes. He's engaged with her, but he's looking away. And you can see the play of light on her, and look at the tattoo on her back. I thought it made for an interesting shot, so I'm sharing it with you. Okay, so now from Leicester, I take you to Kumar Gully in Delhi. So here we have the matriarch of a family, and the man you see at the back, he's one of her 3 sons. So she lost her husband, and she runs this family business. We started talking to her. I was with a very good friend of mine, Sarah. Sarah, if you are there, Sarah lives in Delhi, and if you are there, Sarah, hello from me. And this was, again, last year during one of my visits. So we just went there, and she made an amazing subject with surrounded by all these pottery items. So I got a bit curious. I said, okay, so how does this whole thing work? Where is your kiln? Where is the bhatti? How do you fire all this? And after a while, she said, if you want to see, then my granddaughter will take you to the terrace, and you can have a look. So we were delighted to get this opportunity. And here's Asha. And we were heading up the stairs, the second flight of stairs, which is here. And as she walked up, I saw this huge sort of light, almost a high key setup, just presenting itself. So I just told her, wait, Asha, you know, please, you need to do this for me. And she thought it was rather strange that here's a guy wanting to photograph me in this way. And this is one of my favorite people shots of all time. And again, I like monochromes, I like black and white, so I've converted it. Okay, so time's marching on, so I'll just move on a little bit now. Okay, and we did get to see the kiln, the bhatti, and I've got some shots, but here you can see this has been fired the night before, and it's been cooled down. And for me, this is a good documentary shot of my visit, and again, makes for an interesting shot. Okay, as we were walking around, I saw this fine young lady who was lighting up, and I just could not resist it. I said, you know, I do want to photograph you, and in the distance I could see there was somebody stood behind, and then I started talking to this lady, and I said, who's that? And she said, oh, that's my daughter. So I asked them to again pose for me, and here she is, duly obliging to my whims, and doing this. I did have to cajole her into giving me this shot, but hope you like it. So it's not all about mud and water and kilns and stuff. This is again taken in Kumar Gully in Delhi. And look at the way this lady is dressed. She's got her best attire on. She's all made up. And at this point in time, I only had with me an 1835 and a 12mm on my second body. And this I just wanted to take it from this perspective with my 12mm, and she's making good eye contact, and there was a lot of conversation that went on before I managed to get this shot. As Mithun said, I don't give up easily when it comes to photographing people, and I love engaging with people. And photography is one part of it, but talking to people and engaging with them is really the fun part. Okay, so now I bring you from one capital city to the next. So you will have seen all the cliche shots of London with Big Ben, Westminster, and everything else that it has to offer. So here, we were stood at Westminster Bridge, and it was a very, very bleak, cold day, cold evening. This was around 7:30 in the evening, February, cold evening, and there was clearly a lot of traffic, and we were waiting to cross the road, and this frame presented itself. So you've got the iconic London bus. It's a shepherd's bush, as it's legible. And there in the frame, I had London Eye as well. And for me, this represents a more interesting view of London than a cliche shot of London in Big Ben or the London Eye would. And I thought I'll just share it with you. Okay, so every time when I go to a city which has history to it, I try and photograph some old and new architecture together. And here we have one of the newest buildings on the right-hand side, the Shard in London. And people tend to visit St. Paul's Cathedral on the north side of the river in London, but let me suggest to you that next time you are in London, please, please, please do visit London and go to Southwark Cathedral, which is on the south side of the river. And this is taken from the courtyard of the cathedral. It's a magnificent cathedral, and I would say, please, please visit. Do we have a poll on the screen for some reason, Mithun?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll carry on. So yeah, I like to just present the old and the new, and try and bring a little bit of interest in the picture. You've got the spire of the cathedral and the Shard. They are both converging, looking upwards into the sky, and it made for an interesting shot, and hope you like it too. Okay, so London holds a very, very large Pride Festival. The Pride Festival, for those who don't know, is about the gay movement, and you get some fantastic subjects to photograph. And here we are. I was stood in the crowd, 10, 12 deep, and I saw this guy manage to find a position to photograph the very interesting tattoos he has on his back. And again, another people shot. I do focus on people. Okay, and here are two lovely ladies that obviously found a much better vantage point to view what was going on. And I just said, my lovelies, will you just give me a big smile and allow me to photograph you? And here's the result. They were pleased and made me very happy too. So now I'm going to take you to Santorini. A few of you will have seen these shots probably on Facebook and Insta. This is obviously one of the Greek islands that people see in the Mediterranean, and it's interesting in the daytime. However, I wanted to wait until the evening when there was a little bit more interest and there were a few more lights to give the place a little bit more atmosphere. This is obviously a volcanic island. As you can see in the distance, you can see the mountains, it's all black. Even the beaches here are black, the sand is black, and the beaches are on the other side of the island. But it's a very beautiful, rugged island and well worth visiting at some point. So this is Santorini. This is the capital of Santorini, called Fira, F-I-R-A. This is another place in Santorini which is very visited, and you can see quite breathtaking views of the Mediterranean from here. You get these very beautiful places. These are all accessible if you rent the houses out and so on. And this is a favorite with both tourists and honeymooners. This particular place. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Oi, O-O-I is how it's written. Now, as I said, this place is very popular with honeymooners, especially Orientals. They absolutely love visiting here, and I saw probably half a dozen couples in the couple of hours I was there, and they will dress up in their wedding gear, and they will come in their white dresses. It's a very elaborate affair. The brides and the grooms, they love being photographed here. So I bumped into this couple, and they did not have a photographer with them. So the guy was busy photographing his very charming wife. And I said, look, let me take over. I'll take a few shots for you. And as a reward, I said at the end, do you mind if I take a picture of your your fine lady? And this is what I ended up. And this is a memory for me of what the place is all about. And this is a view at sunset. That was a cruise. So we were on a cruise, and the cruise was obviously the cruise was at sea. And I've taken a picture from Santorini itself as the sun was setting, and we were heading back with the shallow waters. The cruise itself had to be positioned quite further away. There is no port which will facilitate such a large ship there. But again, one of the few rare landscapes that, or in this instance, I should say a seascape, right, Ranjit? That I took. Okay, I'm going to bring you back to where I like being most in India. And here we are looking at old Kochi. I was just walking around, just idling my way through the old part of Kochi, and stumbled across this place. There was a little door at the front, and it's a spice market. I just put my head in, and this is what I was. This is what I saw, and I absolutely love old buildings and the character that they present. And most of these, in the old days, this would have been a hive of activity, I'm sure, with lots and lots happening. But most of these little warehouse units, they were closed. But I love the decorative graffiti that was on the walls, and what the weather had done to the buildings and how beautifully they had aged. There is a certain charm in ruins and old buildings, I find. And I was just walking around looking to see what other opportunities there are. And I ended up with, in one of the units, I ended up with this guy. And he had a colleague, and this is what they did all day, made spice boxes for a living. They would work 8 hours and make these boxes. So this is again, I went in, engaged with them and said, do you mind if I take a couple of pictures. And here's one of my favorite shots of this gentleman going about his work. You can see a little bit of motion blur in his hand. Always try and show a little bit of action in your shots. Not every shot has to be crisp. It has to convey a message. And that is what I have tried to do here. And hope you like it. So I walk down, and here we've got a place where they were sorting out all the ginger by size and bagging them. And again, this was taken with a view of conveying some action and what goes on. And very interested. It's these newspapers on the wall at the back that appealed to me as well. And you can see the remnants of some of them still here. And very, 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 very interesting place. You've got all the implements they have to use. And my God, this was hard work. And they were really doing some fantastic work. Again, I always ask permission before when I go in, saying, may I? I always try and ask and then take pictures. So I think that is one of the things. I think you'll find that most of the time, if you ask nicely. And sometimes if they say, please don't, you say, okay, and thank you very much. And you just walk away, respect their space. You know, how would you like it if somebody pointed a camera at you without consent? I don't think any of us would be very happy. So that's, I think that's a global etiquette that we must all observe. And no picture of Kochi would be complete without the fishing nets. So I stayed here for a few days, and I got friendly with all these ladies. I would visit them in the morning, and they would be waiting for the fishermen with their catch, and then these ladies would buy the fish from these fishermen and happily go home. So you had to be here at 6:30 in the morning and hang around till about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And in my usual way, I did make a few indecent proposals to all the ladies here, and they would almost look forward to seeing me on the following days. And we had a great time, and I chatted with them and had a lovely, lovely time. And so this is a picture of some of my memories. So now I'm going to take you to another part of Europe. This is, I'd like you guys to tell me where you think this is, and please put it in the chat box if you could. Where do you think we are looking at?
Yeah, if you do not know, you can always take a guess.
Yes, oh please, yes, that is what I'd like you to do.
You can always mention, if you don't know the city, at least you can mention the country. Yeah, so people think it's Sydney, Harbour Bridge, Hague, Tuticorin, Hungary. Interesting. Interesting to see. Turkey, Istanbul, Sydney, Prague.
Excellent. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for chipping in and giving me a time to have a sip of juice. Honestly, it's only juice I'm drinking. So this was on a visit to Venice. This is the industrial port of Venice. As you can see, there is all the activity going on in the background. And basically the sky just lit up. This is, I promise you, I have not changed the white balance on this image. This is as it came out, straight out of the camera. I have not done anything to this image apart from crop it and straighten it. But it just lit up in this fashion. There was nothing there, and from nothing, I got this at sunset in Venice. So, you know, Venice is not just about the old buildings, the history and so on. You know, there is more to a place than just meets the eye. And if you look, you can get some interesting glimpses. So just to prove that this was in Venice, and I promise you it is.
Yeah, I think Deepak, Anuradha is the only person who mentioned it right, that it is Venice.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. You can travel with me. I'm sure you know more places than I do, Anuradha.
Right,
Okay, so just to prove that it's Venice. Sorry, Mithun, you were saying?
No, I said, I was just going to say that Manish had a very interesting connotation. He said it is some place on planet Earth.
Of course, every place for I, Manish, every place is on planet Earth for us. Kencho Mota Bhai. So just to say, just to prove to you that it was in Venice, that photograph was taken. So here we were just walking around Venice, and you can see the Grand Union Canal in the background. And there was a film shoot going on, some documentary, something was happening, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And I managed to see these fine singers doing, I think they were just concluding what they were doing, and I just managed to be there at the right time. And I said, okay, bingo, I won the jackpot. And love this shot. This, above all else, reminds me of Venice more than the cliche shots that you get to see of Venice. As I said earlier, I like people. So from Venice, you obviously have quite a few small islands around Venice, and the two main ones are Murano and Burano. Murano is this island we visited, and it is famous for its glassworks. And the other island is Burano, which is very famous for its lace textiles. And so went to visit, like everybody does. I went to visit one of the glassworks. We had the typical tourist visit, and then I stayed back and got to know this guy. His name is Diego Vidal. He owns this particular studio, this glass studio. And he was obviously making some pieces on the day. And I said, do you mind if I just stay back for a while and take some shots of you working? And he said, not at all. And I was very privileged. So you can see he's busy working, crafting and gilding one of his glass pieces. So I like this image, and here he is at work. So I just wanted to show you an image of a master craftsman at work. And here is a piece I bought from him. It's on my mantelpiece at home, and occupies a place of pride and joy for me, and reminds me of Diego. This was crafted by his fair hands. So that was a visit to Murano. Okay, now come back to India, and this is Meghalaya. This is Dauki River, and been boating, and then as I headed back up, I saw this beautiful frame, and again, I thought it's worth a capture, and I'll share it with all my friends today. So this is in Dauki. I love the deep blue waters here, and the way the light plays, and all these boats, mainly for tourists, lined up. Fortunately, it wasn't busy, so I managed to get all these boats in the frame as well, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, this was on the way, and it stopped for a little break, and managed to get one of the few landscape pictures I have on me today. So how are we doing for time? Okay, 15 minutes. I think I'm going to wrap up in 10, 15 minutes, guys.
Yeah, not a problem, Deepak. You can.
Okay, thank you, Mithun.
Take your time.
Okay,
In
so
fact, Deepak, I will tell you that I know that you've been concentrating on the presentation. People are just bowled over with your storytelling. So please continue.
thank you, Mithun. Yeah, I just don't want to bore people with my endless chat here. So if I shall carry on, thank you. So this was again in Meghalaya, and then from Meghalaya, headed up north to Nagaland, and here's Nagaland personified for me. This was at Hornbill Festival, and how could you not feel happy and cheerful when you see this beautiful smile? This basically just personifies the festival for me. Just this smile and this lady's costume. Beautiful people, big hearts, and extremely welcoming people. And I'd urge everybody to visit Nagaland. In fact, I'm looking forward to visiting Nagaland very, very soon. As soon as the opportunity arises, I will be back in Nagaland. I was with you, Mithun, at this time, remember?
Absolutely.
So here's a warrior, all dressed up. He'd had quite a bit of rice wine to drink. And I think Manish Bhai and Mithun were both with me at the time when we took these pictures. I just wanted to show you the intensity in his face and a little bit of drama. So I converted it to monochrome to not detract from all the costumes he had as well. Just wanted, so it's sometimes good to experiment, and now we have the opportunity to do it quite easily in post. So it's well worth experimenting and seeing what looks good when. In fact, if I were to critique this image a little bit, I think his lower half below I should have sort of taken some of the clarity and sharpness away from it to draw your eyes more to his face. But again, we are all learning, lessons learned, and it's just a continuous learning process all the time, and one must never stop. Okay, and here I'd stop for a little breather to have a cup of coffee, and I saw this fine young Naga lady, and I said, please, may I, will you pose for me? And a little bit of begging and pleading from me. I think I'm a fairly harmless soul, and I think they're all giving to me, because if they don't, then I think I would start crying. So I think they just see that and say, oh, better get rid of this old guy, let him photograph and let him move on and be happy. So look at the intensity in those eyes and the catchlight in her eyes. Absolutely, I love it. So I thought I'll share one of these images with you. Okay, so you can see that whilst it's a big event, the Hornbill Festival, even the locals, the participants, even they have a good time. So they obviously are completely immersed in what's going on in the arena. And I just waited and waited and waited to see if I could get all these lovely ladies smiling and obviously very bemused at something that's going on, which I was not able to comprehend. So I thought, okay, I'll turn my attention to them instead and do what I like doing most, which is photographing people. So I hope you like it too. I really like this photograph. Okay, so would somebody like to tell me where we are?
I would like to.
Not you, it'd be key.
Come on, folks. I'm sure a lot of you would know where this place is in India. That's a clue for you. It's in India. Yeah, a lot of folks from UK have been mentioning it's in Mumbai. Yes. Interesting.
Okay, so for those of you who have said Mumbai, you are absolutely right. This is Dhobi Ghat, and the play of light coming through these side lights at the top was just phenomenal, with this very, very dark and dingy smoke-filled area where the guy is preparing chemicals which are used in all the washing that is done at Dhobi Ghat. And yeah, I mean, I could have stood at the top, gone to the train station, Mahalakshmi, and taken a couple of pictures from above, but that is not what it's all about. It's about getting deep in there, if that's the kind of photography you like. And I love people, documentary, people at work kind of shots. So here you can see a preparation. It's very smoke filled, but very, very, for me, a very pleasing shot to capture of my time when I visited Dhobi Ghat with a very good friend of mine, Omkar. Hello, Omkar, if you are there. Omkar is a fantastic photographer from Mumbai. And I had the pleasure of spending a few hours with Omkar, and Omkar took me to Dhobi Ghat to see this wonderful place. So here you can see some of the prime real estate in the background. You can see the train lines. This is again on the rooftop at Dhobi Ghat. The guy is having a breather on the roof. And yeah, some of the finest, some of the most expensive real estate can be seen in the background from the rooftops at Dhobi Ghat. And again, this is the kind of photography I enjoy and like doing. I hope you like it. Okay, so from there we come back to Hampi, closer to home for a lot of you, I believe. And this is the little temple on the rock. I was here with Mithun last year, and we had a wonderful time. And I thought I'll present this frame taken from a completely different perspective. I was actually getting ready to do some Star Trails work, and I've got one of my bodies armed with a 12mm. So I thought this is a slightly different perspective on the temple on the rock, and then I converted it to again to monochrome, because I think it brings in excuse me, brings in something to the image. Excuse me. So again, you can see the stars have just come out, but we were not quite blessed to be able to get star trails. I think we have got a sort of a star trail, but nothing like Rajat showed you a couple of days ago. We were basically kicked out at night from this place. But before we did, we got set up for the star trails. We were blessed with this magnificent sunset, and again, one of the few sort of landscape shots of mine that I'm sharing with you. I like this quite a lot, and I thought it had very pleasing colors, and nature just unfolds its beauty. We only have to look. And the priest of the temple rock, I was talking to him, and he said he takes time out every day to see the sunset and see nature's glory. He says, you are here today and you may never come again, but I sit here, and I said, you are very lucky indeed to be blessed with such a beautiful view. And all we have to do is look. So this was another sunset image, and I have sort of converted it to a monochrome. I quite like the lack of too many buildings, and I basically like the scarcity. The scarcity is not only in the building structures, but the scarcity is also in the tree. There isn't too much drama again in the night sky, and this is virtually when it was dark. And again, one of my favorite images from the trip. Okay, so now from Hampi, I take you to Taiwan. So I just have captioned this image, Hum Saath Saath Chale, which is just walking together. I was just crossing the bridge over a multi-lane road in the middle of Taichung in Taiwan, and I saw this shot, and I quite liked it. You know, it's a very built-up downtown area of Taichung, and it made for an interesting frame for me. So I captured it, and I thought I'll share it with you. Again, I like the interplay of people in their surroundings. Okay, so I just wanted to share this picture with you. So I like people watching too, and you have to do people watching. You have to be very mindful, and you have to do it with good intentions all the time. Okay, and most of the time, so this was, we were waiting for some food to arrive, having ordered, and most of the time you see people, they are engaged in their phones, even if they're in a group. That just seems to be the norm nowadays. But there was this couple who are engaged in intense conversation. And she caught my eye. I said, this is very unusual to see somebody who's actually so deeply engaged with the person with them, rather than looking at their mobile phone, which seems to be the norm. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try and capture her, and then I'm going to go and show to her the pose. So I just, again, got myself all set up in a very candid manner, back button autofocus, she's focus locked, ready. So all I have to do is hit the trigger button when I see the right frame. And I was extremely pleased when I saw this. But I did not take my eye away from her. I said, okay, is there anything else that's going to happen? And that's what I got. So it's always good when you people watch, you continue to watch them, having had established a frame, got what you think is good. Who knows, there might be something else that you might also get. And here's one that I got, and I was very, very delighted with this shot. And I went straight up to them. I shared my contact details with them, and I have sent these two photographs, and her partner was very, very happy to see these two very candid shots, and so was I. So I thought I'll share it with you. But always, when you do take candid shots, take them with the right intention. Okay, so I thought I'll share, I think when Ranjit did his landscape stuff, people asked, have you taken any cityscapes? So I thought I'll share a couple of cityscapes of mine. I was fortunate to work in Taiwan, Taichung last year for a few months, and I managed to get this view from my apartment balcony. What you see here is a very state-of-the-art National Taichung Theatre, which is a truly wonderful space, and a really incredible space that they've designed. The interior is so beautifully constructed that there isn't a single straight vertical wall. There isn't a single structurally, there isn't a single wall, and there are no pillars either. It's very, very beautiful. So please look it up if you are interested in, I have lots and lots of images, but obviously time does not permit me to share the images of the interior with you. But here you can see the National Taichung Theatre with the area at the front, and all these buildings. These are all residential buildings, by the way, and in Taiwan, and it seems to be the case in lots of the big Chinese cities as well. They love illuminating their buildings, and it is just mind-blowing when you see it. I particularly like this hourglass structure on this building that you can see. And here's another picture again. I'm a big fan of monochromes. So when you do take a shot, try and convert it to monochrome and see what the play of light looks like, and see how things go. And this is one of the shots looking down at one of the main roads heading out of the city. And again, you can see the National Taichung Theatre is very beautifully lit. And this is at eye level. This is again taken with a very wide angle lens to try and get this perspective, almost probably about 6 inches off the ground. This was taken from. And as I said, look at this beautiful hourglass structure. And inside, it's magnificent. Please look it up if you get a chance. It's National Taichung Theatre, NTT. And okay, so I said I have many shots of the inside of the building. So on one of my first visits, because I stayed there for a long time, I got to know the place. But I think this was actually on my very first visit. Everybody's there, you know, the cell phone culture is everywhere. Everybody's looking at their phones. And I saw this group of young ladies, and I said, I've got to get a picture here. You know, it's such a beautiful open space. And I said, they said, who the hell is this guy? You know, what's he doing? So I just approached them. I said, look, you are a lovely group. I want to photograph you looking at your phones from the other side. And in fact, I gave my phone to this lady. She said, oh, can I have a picture? I said, on my phone. I said, sure, I'll share this with you. But she said, no, I want it straight away. So I handed her my phone. And basically, I got rewarded with this shot in the interior space. It was almost like a ready-made studio for me. Huge space, lots and lots of crowds. And they are very, very lovely people in Taiwan. And here's a fond memory of my time and travel and work last year in Taichung. I hope you like it. So, okay, I'm almost going to wrap up now, and I think just overrun. I promised myself I will finish at 3:45 my time, and I'm going to take only 2 more minutes of your time. So what can I say? Carry on photographing. What you see here is quite a historic moment, actually. I was in the Vatican in 2005 on the day Pope John Paul II passed away. So here you've got the world's press. They've all got their big primes and their video cameras, their cameras. They're all pointing at the papal gallery up above. And I thought this was a photograph that I need to capture. This is one of my first street shots, if you like. And I thought I will share it with you. This is from 2005. So sadly, on the day he did pass away, I just happened to be there visiting the Vatican at the time on a holiday. And I thought I'll share this shot with you. I have plenty of shots of St. Peter's and the interior of St. Peter's. It's magnificent, but this is the shot I wanted to share with you. So keep photographing, be a yatri, and thank you, Sarah. I hope you are with us today. This was taken at the Kumbh Mela last year. I have Badri with me in the ever bright green t-shirt. So this was taken at Kumbh last year after we had a snan. And all I can say is be a yatri, travel, look out for the beautiful, capture the beautiful, and keep making memories. That's me. And he is not the least bit interested in me anymore because he's already got my pictures. And now he's eyeing up his next client. So keep making memories and try and sleep under the stars sometimes. And look out for the joy street that you will find on your travels, on your walks, and be nice, be happy, and enjoy this human race we have. And I'd just like to leave you with a couple of parting words, if I may. This is from one of the Nirguni bhajans of Kabir, Sant Kabir. And he says, okay, so I'm going to say it in Hindi now. Kahet Kabir, suno bhai sadho, saath chale bas, sukhi lakadiya. For all my friends who are non-Hindi speakers, it means that Sant Kabir says that, what will go with you is what will be used for your funeral pyre. So all I can say is make happy memories, make sure they go with you when you go to the other world. I wish everybody well, and thank you for listening to me and giving me this your precious time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deepak. It was breathtaking, as you can see in the chat box. So I want all people who loved Deepak's session to please give him some love. Just type in so that he knows how mind-blowing it was. Yeah. So Deepak, as you see onto your chat, you're already having a lot of hearts and fire and love and kisses. Everything flying towards you.
I'm very touched, really am. Thank you so much, Mithun, and thank you everybody. Yeah, really am. You can ask Mithun and you can ask the team at Honeycomb how nervous and apprehensive I was earlier today about how it would go. So I really appreciate all your love. Thank you very much, and I love you all.
Yeah, so if on a lighter note, Deepak, if you call this as nervous, then I would prefer being nervous than being confident.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so lot of you have asked, is Deepak Indian? Of course, he is Indian. He is a Gujarati by heart. So do not worry. There are a lot of people.
Mithun મને આટલી બધી ચાય પીવડાવે હું ઇન્ડિયા ફરવા આવું ત્યારે.
Right, and let me tell you, since he mentioned about chai, if you ever get to travel with Deepak, he will kill you to death with tea. He can have 25 times tea in a day. So he is any bit of tea, right from 5-star hotels down to tapri, he's always ready to to take. So Deepak, a lot of your Gujarati fans are writing for you on the chat box.
Thank you.
Right. So like I was telling you, folks,
Marathi पण येते हा Mithun. So if there are any Maharashtrians, please, कसं काय?
तुम्हाला सगळं काही येतं मला माहिती आहे.
मला येते, थोडं येते आता विसरला मी रे.
Right. But yeah, absolutely. I think like I mentioned at the start of the conversation that you are definitely going to go into the wonderful world of travel, across the world. So you saw that, he took you from London, from Leicester down to India, to a lot of states, to Taiwan, and I think, the cruise, to everything. So I think he was wanting to show you 100 images, wish we had 4 or 5 hours of time. We could have definitely done that. But in future, in upcoming, we'll definitely get into a detailed masterclass, so that you get to learn as well. I know that there are a lot of questions I will definitely take up with Deepak.
Okay.
Do not worry. We will definitely want to take up everything that we can. And like I mentioned at the start, it will definitely be a 2 hour plus session. So I already see that. So please, bear with us, for at least 35 to 40 minutes more, so that today is the finale. I'm sure all of you would want to, stay with us, and not have any other plans. So please do stay. Deepak, we nearly had 350 odd people. I
And
know that some people would have, probably dropped off due to some personal work, but I think that's a big number, and it was a fantastic presentation, Deepak.
thank you,
Uh,
Mithun. Thank you.
right, and I definitely want to add a couple of things that when Deepak mentioned about, especially Hornbill Festival, those people in the audience smiling and laughing, because if you ever get to attend Hornbill Festival, you would know that there are a lot of activities, a lot of it's a festival of 10 full days, so they have a lot of things that happens in that festival. Of course, we do not understand the Naga language, but you can see that there is humor, there is seriousness, there is art, there's action, there are a lot of things that happen, like a typical theater that we go to and see a lot of plays or kind of stuff. So that was a scene where there was some funny moments going on, but it was so beautiful that some of us decided to also capture the mood of the participants. So that's how you see. So like I mentioned to you, storytelling is Deepak's forte, and the relationship that he builds in. I'm sure he's going to talk about in the Q&A, because I see a lot of questions already onto those, how to approach, what do we do. I'm sure he's going to mention that. But before we get into the Q&A, I want to do a quick poll like we normally do. So Vinay, if you can quickly put the poll onto the screen, and please be ready to select. We'll give you 60 seconds. Here is the poll. Do you print your photographs at all? We want to know if you print your photographs at all. And it's perfectly fine if you don't intend to, or you want to know more. I will let you know what you should do. So please quickly select. I know that Deepak personally prints a lot of pictures. I've seen his pictures in his house. He will definitely would have, if he had an option to mark, he would have said yes, I do. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so nearly 60% have voted. So 30 more seconds, quite quickly, please exercise your votes. 20 seconds. Okay, last 5 seconds. Interesting statistics. 4, 3, 2, and let me just close the poll. Okay, I'll just share the results with all of you on the screen. So it's encouraging to see 30% already print. Nearly 50% actually do not print, or they want to know more. So all those people who do not print or want to know more, please do reach out to our team. There is a email address which is already mentioned, and the numbers. We'll definitely be more than happy to show you some samples and get it printed for you. Like my mentor Anand Sharan used to say, the joy of photography is when you print. So a lot of people who have printed in the past will vouch in, and I see Deepak already nodding his head, so I can definitely tell you that that's how it is. Okay, so before we proceed to the Q&A, we wanted to do something, as a matter of gratitude. But yeah, I mean, I'm really sorry. I forgot one thing, Deepak. I wanted to mention that all those people who have joined in for the session, who are registered with us and have joined in for the session, will get a set of one-page PDF document as a bonus from Deepak, who has curated the links himself. So he's given us some links that you can follow, that he follows, some YouTube links and some URLs. So definitely that will come along with the recording of this session, which is a YouTube link, and the other feedback form and other things that will come. So please watch out for that by early next week. Do not worry, everything will come to you. So Deepak has put in those links to help all those aspiring photographers also to follow certain people's work. He's given, I think, a lot of Instagram handles to follow. So you should definitely have a look at it. That will help you for sure. Okay. So before we proceed, Deepak, Vinay, if you can quickly put in the video. We wanted to thank all of you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Dr. Sanjay Manugoli, a pediatrician and a wildlife enthusiast. Firstly, I would like to say a big thanks to Honeycomb Creative Support and Photostop, the organizers of the Reel of Wonders, the webinar series on different genres of photography as a part of the International Photography Week 2020 celebrations. In the midst of a dull and dry pandemic, this was like an oasis. Such a brilliant event would not happen without the time, dedication and support of Naful, Shri Kumar and everyone involved. A platform such as this develops the confidence needed for any creative journey. Art is everywhere, manifesting itself in various forms. It is a great opportunity for photographers to showcase a select portion of their practice and discover what others are creating. I must say it was an honor to be invited to speak here on wildlife photography. Thank you so much. The week of this program was nothing less than a life experience. I would like to propose a special vote of thanks to the mercurial Mithun Prabhu for kindly hosting these webinars and taking utmost pains to see the presentations were successful from all angles. I would like to take a moment to thank a group of people, my extended family, who I feel simply haven't been thanked enough. Georgie, Sanisha, Shweta, Akhil, Bijit, Harish, Sanjeevan, Vinay, and of course, late Adit. We could not have done any of this without you all buddies. Webinars are of no use without participants. It was well supported by the community both here and beyond. Art of photography functions as a catalyst, bringing people together and forming new modes of connection. Today I would like to thank everyone, every single learned participant for attending the webinar and encouraging us. Boosting artists in such a manner deserves to be applauded. Art of photography is about putting forward ideas, memories, musings, and many like me will continue to be a part of that. Thank you, one and all. Thank you so much.
My sincere thanks to everyone who joined Landscape Photography webinar. I thoroughly enjoyed sharing my experience and hope you found it useful as well. My heartfelt gratitude for all the love and appreciation I received for my humble work. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining my session and making it such a grand success. All the photographers who actually were a part of this are truly inspiring, and I learned a lot from the others who were on the panel. It was a little weird and I didn't know how this would work on a virtual platform, but all of you who actually tuned in made it a grand success, and the response has been fabulous. Thank you Photostop, thank you Honeycomb, and hope we can do such events in a larger gathering and this pandemic leaves us so that we can all meet and enjoy such a session in person.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed my presentation on salon participation. I thank you, all of you who have witnessed the show and learned whatever you can. On this occasion, I would like to thank the staff of Honeycomb as well as Mr. Mithun Prabhu on this occasion. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for attending the webinar organized by Honeycomb Creative Support. I wish to see you again in our upcoming webinar. Happy shooting and thanks again.
Hi everyone, it was my tremendous pleasure to share with you my macro photographic journey. Your enthusiasm and active participation motivated me to give my best further. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, just wanted to say a big thank you from myself, Deepak Samani, for joining us for this series of webinars hosted by Honeycomb Creative. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone. Thank you for participating in the Reels of Wonders webinar series. We had an overwhelming response and it was possible only because of your presence. It has been a learning session for all of us about different genres of photography from eminent speakers excellent in their own field. We will be coming up with more such webinars. See you soon.
Speakers, thank you for sharing your experience, and attendees, thank you for your participation.
Hi. The experience I gained by coordinating between participants and my teammates was remarkable. Team spirit and enthusiasm helped us gain more confidence and knowledge to improve ourselves to give the best in the forthcoming webinars. It indeed was a huge success at the end, and thank you all for being the part of this journey.
I am Harish. I'm also working alongside Agil in designing the creatives for social media, and it was overall amazing and unique experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Honeycomb, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. It indeed was a great experience for me, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And thank you all for being a part of the webinars.
Thank you for the great experience.
Hi, I am Ajay Vijay. I worked on the creative for the webinar. It indeed was a new and exciting experience for the webinar.
Hello everyone. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each one of you who attended our webinars that we conducted as part of the International Photography Week 2020. You all showed so much of love that we are overwhelmed with the feedback. Thank you again on behalf of speakers and the Honeycomb team. Until we meet soon for the next ones, take care and be safe. Thank you.
Good evening all. Thank you so much for attending all our webinars. Stay tuned. There are more things on the way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Just had tears rolling down my eyes, because we all know that it's going to end today. But we just wanted, all the speakers to personally thank you. Can I request all the speakers who are there on the call right now, if you can just switch on the video so that those who have missed seeing you before can actually see you as well again. So if the entire team, including all the speakers, if you can quickly come onto the screen. Great. Thank you very much. Please, we know there are a lot of them waiting to see you in one frame. Dr. Sanjeev, Srikumar, everybody. Okay, it will take some time. Sorry about that, because everybody is here. He comes, Satish sir. Nice to see you. Great. Dr. Sanjeev and Amit. Looks like they were so much engrossed in the video that they forgot to switch on the videos. Okay, so this is the entire set of people. I know Bhushan is missing because Bhushan stepped into the IPL straight, and the video that you saw was actually from Mumbai. So he was already with the team in Mumbai, but he still found time to give us the video. Dr. Sanjeev, you are missing. We can hear you.
Yes.
Yes. We can't miss you, Dr. Sanjeev. You had the longest speech for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is everybody that you saw. For those who missed, please, we wanted to quickly have everybody onto the screen. We know that all of us, put in so much of hard work, but I think more than that, it is all of you who have spent your personal time all 7 days to join us, especially after work and 2 days of the weekend. So I think, like I said, it has been a fantastic experience, feedback, a lot of areas to look at, and this is technology. So you always find something going wrong, but I think largely if we see everything was seamless. We are really sorry, just in case if anything went wrong because of us. We have taken the feedbacks. We'll definitely ensure that next time when we bring in, we will incorporate those. This is a mammoth effort by itself, as you would have seen. First and foremost, everybody preparing the content, then putting it together, creatives to to videos to everything. Sometimes at very very short notice. Sometimes a lot of preparation time. Speakers like Deepak and Rajat and Amit would have got a better time frame because they were towards the end. But a lot of them, like Dr. Sanjeev, Satish sir, to Bhushan, to Ranjit, absolutely did not have much of time, so if you loved it, I think we do rock, and we all can make it happen. So this is how I think the teamwork works. So I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of myself to entire Honeycomb team, entire set of speakers, and all of you attendees. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. Let's dive in, Deepak, straight into the questions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. And Deepak,
video on the bol. Aja.
I'm sorry. Deepak, we loved the photo that you had behind your couch, the one that you showed in where we had the thank you video. So I think that's the level of prints that I was talking about as well. So it was absolutely fantastic. And some of the pictures were absolutely from the same trips and images that you just shown. Okay, so diving into the question straight, a lot of them wanted to know what is the gear that you use, because you did not, I know you mentioned it while you were talking, but if you can explicit out, what is the gear that you use?
Okay, so I basically use a Fuji system at the moment. I was a Canon shooter for many, many years, but now I use Fuji X. I have two X-T2s, which are extremely hard-wearing, weather-sealed cameras, and then I will carry lenses to suit, basically a 10-24, 18-135, but it really depends on what I'm doing. And I carry a tripod with me. That's it.
That's about it. So that's your gear, as simple as you can.
Yeah. So everything you've seen today has been taken on a 18-135 millimeter lens on a Fuji X-T2, and 10-24 or a 12 millimeter prime. That's it.
Wonderful. So Deepak is one example of going light, absolutely not carrying too many gears. Don't get bogged down about I want this lens, I want a 2.8, I want a 3.5, all that stuff. So he's a Fuji man, I know, and he's.
All I'm going to say, Mithun, is I strongly urge all my friends to focus on the subject. The best gear is the gear you've got in your hands, and use it, learn to use it, and be happy with it, and be creative. Sometimes things don't work, it's okay. Think of a different perspective, try something new. There are rules, but breach them.
Right. At this point, I also want to mention a lot of you who were there in Amit's session yesterday on the macro photography. I know that you had questions on the macro lenses for your mobile phones. If you remember, there were a lot of questions that Amit was asked. So Amit and I sat together to put that information. I'm just going to put it onto the chat box. So there is a gentleman by name Somnath Kumbar. His number is mentioned there. He has a lot of beautiful macro lenses. Please do connect up with him. His Facebook ID I've already mentioned, and he ships across to India. So all those of you who wanted, these are the numbers, and you can definitely reach out to them if you are interested in the macro lenses. Okay, next question, Deepak. And in fact, this is, I think, the most trending question that, do you take permission of your subject? If yes, is it required? If yes, then how do you approach? What is the standard thing that you do, the protocol that you use?
Okay, so in the examples of people I showed you, I would say 90% of those images were taken with permission. So the subjects were fully aware. In certain cases where you can see a situation evolving and you want to take a candid shot, you do. And if it transpires after you've taken the shots that, the subjects are approachable, then you can go and show it to them. Like that lady I showed you in Taiwan, I took those two shots without her knowledge. And then I approached her saying, look, I have done this. And she was actually very pleased. But always respect people. When you want to take a a picture of a person, as I said during my talk, is go and approach them with a nice smile and always make sure that your intentions are honorable and noble. You know, there should be no voyeurism in image making of any sort at all. You must take images with a pure heart. I can't say any more. And if you're nice and you tell them, I think my experience is they will say yes most of the time. When they say no, respect their space. You know, after all, you are invading on their privacy. So please, please, please respect them.
Right, and I think it is a very critical component for photographers, you know, because sometimes we, in the run up to taking photographs, you know, we tend to forget the privacy part, the etiquettes part. So I think what is very critical is absolutely to seek permission to strike conversation. And I know that a lot of you have asked, what if you do not know the local language? You know, of course, you go with a local person so that, you know, he or she does the bit of translation for you, and that's how you know, it works. So so yeah, that's how it is. And Ajay, thank you very much for your appreciation. Ajay, Deepak is mentioning that 7 days, 7 wonders. He's waiting for the 8th wonder very soon. You know, thanks for all speakers. You know, so wish we could continue, you know, every day. But yeah, that's how it is. A lot of people have invited you to Calcutta, Deepak, to, you know, because Calcutta has the best of the subjects in India in terms of street and festivals and all that stuff. So
tell me about it. I'm so looking forward to going to Kolkata. Yes, absolutely. That's right up there, and really, really looking forward to visiting Kolkata soon. It is really the city of dreams, and where I would love to most. And I can see somebody is also mentioning Odisha here, and absolutely, I would love to visit Odisha. I can see Sahadeva Sahu. Thank you very much for your invitation.
yeah, I think
I will take it up, by the way.
Yeah, I think we will make you the brand ambassador of India. You know, so you can travel and you can promote as well. That will help tourism as well.
But there is no place like India in the world. Honestly, for me, there is only one place in the world to photograph, and that is India. I am obviously very biased about my approach, and I think in the conversation we had, Mithun, a couple of weeks ago, I can say with my hand on my heart that I've spent every dollar of my travel in India for the last 8 years, every dollar. I don't travel anywhere else to photograph, or for that matter, to travel, because what don't we have in India? It's everything.
Right. A lot of people want to know what editing software do you use and any recommendations.
Okay, very simple. I use Lightroom, and I use Capture One, and I really like to get it right in the camera. I would rather spend my time behind a lens than in front of a monitor.
Right. Anand is mentioning that he himself is a travel photographer, but he hesitates reaching out to people, and you know, and especially those who have trust issues. So any recommendations for introverts like him?
Go out there, as long as your intentions are pure, and go out there, smile big, don't look too intimidating, and when you start out, don't go out with your 70 to 200 and don't try and show off your gear. I'll just give you a little example. This is all you need.
Deepak, it looks as if you're dived into the ice.
Sorry. Okay, so here I have my Fuji, one of my Fuji street cameras that I carry with me. This is just a very simple X100, and it's a 23mm lens, so it's not intimidating, you see. If you go out there and stick a big camera, big DSLR with a big lens on it into somebody's face, they are not going to be very happy with you. You know, you are invading their private space. And I think it's natural, you know. that people do that. So try and keep low profile and try and smile. My only answer is, I mean, I have been to places where I don't speak a word of the language. I'm not conversant in many European languages. I speak a little bit of everything, but you know, when I went to Taiwan, or if I go to China or I go to Russia from work, then all you have to do is smile. You know, smile is a common language, and I think if you smile and your intentions are good, they will come through and people will allow you to photograph them. I promise you. Try it.
Absolutely. So all those people who asked the editing software to be repeated, Ranjit has just mentioned it for you. It's Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, and Capture One for Fuji.
Yes, I use Capture One now, especially for my Fuji work. But it's only a piece of software. Don't get too hung up on it.
Right.
I do very little work, post-processing work on my images, crop, straighten. If I want to convert to black and white, I'll do that occasionally. But really, the fun is in taking the pictures, not sitting for endless hours in front of a monitor at home. That's no fun.
Right. There's a question on your sunset seascape picture that you showed. Any reason why was it the tilted horizon?
I'm sorry, I did not understand.
The sunset seascape picture that you had showed, where there was a cruise ship down. The question was, why was the horizon tilted?
Okay, pure artistic license. It's how I wanted to compose it. I do not see any merit that picture, the way I captured it diagonally. I got more in the frame and more interest in the frame. So it was purely my interpretation. I saw no point in just straightening it out.
Right. I think this was answered already, Akshata, that how do you deal with local people in India, language barriers? You do go with local guides or local people from the place if you can. Otherwise, you know, anybody who knows, so that there is a bit of translation. And irrespective of the language around the world, I can tell you that if you are humble, if you are grounded, you know, and if you make this the people comfortable, you know, by your body language, you can easily you know, make them converse. It doesn't really need to know, because it is virtually impossible as a travel photographer for you to know every language or every dialect in the country or around the world. You know, so that's how it works. And sorry, Deepak, I'm also answering this on your behalf because I'm a travel photographer as well along with you. You know, so I know how it works. I knew that this question will come in. I know it was not mentioned as part of your presentation, but the question is on, you know, how to write, how to do blogging, how to write, you know, stories, how to write the experiences that you encounter during travel. Any tips?
Okay, so you see, you've got amazing bloggers out there on the web. I really do not write blogs. I want my pictures to tell my story. And I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything here. I really believe that blogging and writing is an art form which I don't possess. And I'm just a simple guy who wants to get on with life and make memories and have fun, really.
Right, and I think it's a very important statement that Deepak made, that make memories. You know, because the I can vouch for that fact. You know, because since I did my 2 solo exhibitions last year, a lot of people came to my exhibition and said, you know what, in this set of 60 frames that you displayed, there were so many nostalgic memories you took me through. You know, you took me to Sikkim, you took me to US, you took me to London, you took me to XYZ, you know, so because people relate, it's easy to relate for people when they see pictures. That's why, you know, they say that picture is better than, you know, 1,000 words. So, you know, so, but yes, I mean, to the point, if you cannot, if you do not have the flair of writing in you, of course, you should not, you know, but To specifically answer this question, if you can write and if you can express your emotions, whether it is a story or whether it's a place, geographical, historical importance, you should definitely write. I would definitely second that opinion. In fact, I write a lot on Facebook. I know that a lot of people do not have time these days to go through a lot of written content. But to me, when I write, it makes me feel happy. So if you follow me on Facebook, you will see that every day I put a picture and I write. It's easy for me to just put a picture and just move on. But I personally think I should voice out my thoughts. So if you can do blogging, vlogging, videos, whatever it is, you should definitely do. But be sure that you can do it. Because content is today king, but at the same time, it has to be an engaging story as well. So I think that's what I feel. Okay, I know that a lot of you had these questions on participation in exhibitions and salons. Will this be categorized? I think if you missed Satish sir's session, you can definitely look at the recordings, because he did articulate which all pictures can be under travel sections and other areas. So do not worry, please look at that this thing. But to specifically answer, some of you asked, can portrait go into X or Y sections? It all depends. It can be in if it's a color, it can go in open color. It can, if it's a monochrome, it can go in open mono. If it's a travel picture like Deepak showed, it definitely qualifies for travel. But like Satish sir mentioned, travel has to have no manipulations, no heavy editing, or no things that change the alter of the picture. And of course, if you are ready, they will ask you for raw files you need to provide. So it all depends. There is no straight answer, but all that I can tell you is that travel and street go hand in hand. So a street picture can also become a travel as long as it conveys the place importance and significance. That's what I would like to say. That there was a question also, Deepak, on how landscape photography is different from travel. Of course, it is different. So if you would have seen, I don't know if you want to answer, Deepak, on that.
Okay, so I think you can say that landscape is part of travel photography, but essentially when you show a landscape as part of your travel genre, if you wish to, and there are many people who travel exclusively for landscape work only. And yeah, I mean, there are masters in that craft. I personally am okay at landscape work. I'm not terribly good. I like people. I like people. I like scenes, and I like to contextualize the people, environment, things. So you will always find that if I have a landscape photograph associated with that, will be a human story of some sort in my images. But absolutely, landscape is a very big part of travel. And there are people who do it really well.
Right. There is a question on how do you convert. So you showed a lot of monochrome images. So how do you decide when to convert to monochrome, and what do you use to convert?
I think, okay, I'll answer the second question. I just use software. So I photograph in RAW. Everything is shot in RAW. And then you have complete freedom to either have it in monochrome or in color, or any grades thereof. So that's the easy part. When it comes to how do I decide, when do I decide? I think that comes with lots and lots of doing it. And I think a lot of people say that if your picture is not that great, then converting it to monochrome and it will look better. Well, that's not how I look at it and I set out. I almost see an image in monochrome, and it's just a gut feel that comes to you over time. I'm sorry, but I can't explain it in any other way. I can just see an image, and I believe that when I see an image, it looks good in black and white, and you will see a very large percentage of what's out there in social media on my pages is in monochrome, Mithun.
That's right. And I think like we have constantly maintained, as long as you have a story, anything looks good, and you convey the emotions, I think you're done. So you're game for anything that looks good. A lot of people wanted to know, how do you plan for your trips? Because it requires a lot of time, organization, and money.
Yes, so I think, as you can see, I'm an old boy now, and I'm sort of stepping back from my work life, and I basically now am in a reasonably fortunate position to plan my work life around my trips. And yes, there is a lot of planning involved, but as they say, fail to plan and plan to fail. So get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed before you set out, and make sure you've covered all the aspects, and mentally prepare yourself. I mean, I have friends who just travel. They are not photography friends, but they will want to go, and they will go and have a look at the room in a hotel and say, how many square feet there is. For me, none of that is relevant. As long as there's a clean bed and somewhere a bit of shelter, I'm happy. But it's getting yourself in that frame of mind and saying, what is it you are going to do when you are out here? And sometimes you have no idea. It's a new experience. And go out and have new experiences. That is very important. So yeah, planning is essential. And you just have to save a little bit of money every now and then and plan your trips.
Right. Ajay wanted to know which glacier photo that you have in the virtual background. Which one is this?
Oh, this is at Pangong So in Ladakh.
Yeah, so he thought it was an Alaska picture, but it is
No,
not.
I have been to Alaska too. I have some magnificent glacier pictures in Alaska as well, but there is only so much I can share with you, and I thought it was more interesting. I mean, yeah, I have walked on glaciers as well, and I have been to Alaska as well, and seen glaciers from the sea as well.
Right. I think there are a lot of recommendations from people that you should come to Tamil Nadu too. So please do
Oh,
visit next time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would love to come to Tamil Nadu. Absolutely, yes. Well, I would like to go anywhere in India. Is there anybody from Orcha? Is that how you say it, Mithun?
Right.
Is there anybody listening from in and around Orcha? I'd like to make contact with you.
Right. On the question that you had answered about getting close to people to speak to them, what happens if the people get angry?
People never get angry. Sometimes if they're in a bad mood, they're working, especially if they're working people, like street sellers or anybody, then you must be mindful that you don't approach them. And at the end of the day, they are earning a livelihood. You are there in a recreational capacity. So please refrain from disturbing them. That is when they will get angry, because if you intrude on their workflow, their livelihood, then surely I would too as well if you disturb me during my working time. So just look around, and some people, I think you can tell if they're going to be approachable or not. So far, I have not experienced anything too intense from anybody. Just respect, step back and say thank you, and smile and walk away.
Right. I think an associated question also was, especially in Europe, sometimes people are not very cooperative. And people travel as tourists. They try to take photographs, but they're not too happy. So, I mean, this is more of an experience sharing with you.
Sure.
So I think answer is same.
Again, I would just say, be mindful. Respect their space and ask them. I'd like to do this. Can I? And most of the time, you will find they will. I have various examples of street photography I have done in Europe as well. It's not an issue, but You just ask, be nice and ask. You know, don't do this, hold this in their face and then ask. Keep it down and then ask and say, may I, you know, I'd like to take a picture of you because you are interesting, you look interesting. And I think then hold your camera out.
Right, and I would strongly recommend also, in addition to what Deepak said, is once you're done with the picture, please do show it to them, because a lot of them are happy. And if you promise them that you will definitely ship it out to them a print, please do keep your promise, because, you know, a lot of people do tell it and then, you know, just walk off and they forget about them. So, you know, so please don't do that. If you really want to share the picture in a print format, you take their address, they do expect you to get back. So please do keep up your promise. Otherwise, do not promise. That's what I would say.
So I can see on the chat, Mithun, a gentleman by the name of Shirish Kumar Patel. He's saying, welcome to Kutch. Kutch nahi dekha to kuch nahi dekha. And I agree with him. So I'm going to be arriving on your doorstep very soon, Shirish Bhai.
Right, and I'm going to get Rajat and Rajit join also, because we will do Astro in LRK and you know, also travel along with Dr. Sanjeev, who can help us do some flamingos and, you know, all those things, you know, and the white sand. You know, it's on the wish list. Absolutely.
Shirish Bhai, સાંભળ્યું ને તમે, અમે આવીએ છીએ. તૈયાર રહેજો, હા. મને ચાય ભાવે, ને મને હાંડવો ભાવે, ને મને ખીચડી ને રોટલા ભાવે.
Right, and all those people who did not understand, you know, what he mentioned all the food items, and like I said, you don't need to know the language. You just need to, you know, patiently hear. You'll definitely, you know, understand what is it about. Great. I will not take a lot of time. I know that we have already overshot, you know, by the 2 hours that I had promised. So I'll probably take 5 more questions, and for all those few questions that we could not answer, we'll definitely get Deepak to answer that for you and reach out to you. There is a question on, do you use flash photography at all when you take the subjects, especially on the streets and others? Do you use flash?
No, I don't. I do carry a small flash with me, but most of the time, street photography, I think, does not involve, unless you're going to do some fantastic portrait and you want to isolate the subject from the background and, you know, really give it prominence. But yeah, my street photography is meant to be raw and ready. I just want to convey the essence of the people. So I do carry it, but very infrequently used.
Right. Anant also wanted to know, have you encountered any bad, you know, situations during a travel, like cheats or mafia or any kind of people during your experience of traveling while photographing?
I'm pleased to say I haven't. Not yet.
Great. Yes, Pankaj, portrait, street and landscape sometimes is overlapped depending on the, you know, on the subject that you shoot. So yes, it can get overlapped for sure. I think I don't know which picture are we talking about here, but there's a question on, we noticed the presence of harsh light in one of your portrait images. So is there any specific time of the day when it was relatively good for travel photography when outdoors? I would assume it is the lady, you know, picture that you had shown. I don't know.
Yeah, she was sat in, you know, there was a lot of sunlight there. She was sat in the sun, and I wanted to present it as real as possible. I could have done what was required in edit, but as I say, I want my presentation to be raw and ready. I'm doing it to be as real as possible.
Right. How about when you take candid shots, like you had those ladies and other candid shots that you took in the restaurant, and somebody talking to their friend? So we know that you can sit at a distance and observe, but any other better way of doing this?
So we'll talk about that one particular shot where the guy is looking out, staring out of the window, and the girl is drinking her juice. So that I'd made my mind up. I was not going to, obviously I cannot ask, because asking just ruins that emotion in that subject. You know, it's part of the observing. So what I did is, my camera was already set up on the table. I'm not holding the camera in my hand. It is there on the table next to my drink. As I said earlier, I'd got her focus locked. I'd focused on her and I'd got her focus locked with back button autofocus. And if people don't know what that is, they can look it up on Google. And then, so the camera is absolutely ready. Everything's ready to go. All I have to do is keep observing her and keep hitting the trigger on my camera. And don't bother looking at it, because you know, with experience, if you set it up correct, the framing is right, you can see it on the screen on the back of the camera. And that's how you do that one. That was an instance where I did not share the image afterwards. I did not see it appropriate to share that image with that couple. But as I said, 90% plus of my images are actually shared with the subjects I photograph. And I will go home, I will take time, I will process them, I will get them right, and then I will email them out to them.
Absolutely. Last two
with
questions.
A big thank you. You must do it. You owe it to them. The fact that they allowed you to invade their privacy, you owe it to them as a mark of respect and a sense of morality as well.
Right. And like I mentioned, for all those people who have said that they want to learn, they want to know more, exhibits, all that, you know, we'll definitely have a detailed class coming soon, so that we can dive into more those details. So please stay tuned with the Live Shots Facebook group that we have, and we'll definitely let you know when we do that. Last two questions, Deepak. We don't want to hold you for any more longer. I know that we can go on, you know, a whole night, you know, because you know, this is such an interesting subject. But you know, since it's closer to evening for you, just don't want to take any more time. Just last two questions. Any difference in traveling alone or with friends? What do you prefer?
I prefer traveling with friends, but I'm very happy to travel alone as well. And if you follow the hashtag Akela Musafir on any social media, so if you Google, if you go on any social media platform and you look at the hashtag Mithun, tum type kar do na yaar, Akela Musafir mere liye.
Right. It's anyway, you put Akela and you'll get it. You don't need to.
Yeah, hashtag. So if you hashtag Akela Musafir, you will find that 90% of what's out there on social media with that hashtag is my work. I love people and I love traveling with people, but I'm equally comfortable traveling alone as well.
Right. And I think if you honestly ask me, in travel, when you travel together, you know, not only it adds to a lot of experience sharing, you know, during on the field, but off the field, you have a lot of fun. And that's what we do. And that's how we have done it for last 4 to 5 years, you know, including Deepak and a lot of people who are there on the attendee right now, Manish to Ranjit to a lot of folks, you know, that's how you do it, because, you know, you build relationship, especially if you do not know each other. You know, it's a great way to network and share experiences, personal, professional, photography related, you know, and I personally enjoy it a lot, you know. But yeah, I mean, Deepak is right that if you don't get anybody, you should travel solo, you know, so there's no doubt about it. Kind of. Last question, Deepak, what would you prefer? Click places, culture, or people? What is your personal preference in any priority if you have?
Okay, so for me, people comes first. I think hopefully that's evident from the images I've shown you. Then I like heritage, which India has a lot to offer, both in terms of living heritage as well as architecture, and then landscapes. I think I'm a very poor landscape photographer.
I don't agree to that, but I'm sure Ranjit also doesn't agree to that. But yeah, I mean, people should definitely come first, you know, because people defines travel. And landscapes, of course, if you are a pure play landscape photographer. But again, if you have followed Ranjit's work and if you have been to Ranjit's presentation, you would have seen that he puts in those tiny human elements into the landscape, which of course alters the complete, the look of the image. So I think that also is a very creative way of doing it. So it all depends. There's no one straight answer, but yeah, that's how it works. Okay, so I think Naufal, do you want to give some parting words before we close the session? Shri Kumar, Naufal?
Yeah, I think we'll dedicate to Adit and
yeah,
we can just dedicate this to Adit. I will put his visual on the screen and then we can have a national anthem and closing.
Sure.
You can just talk about it, Mithun.
Right. So all those who missed out on Dr. Sanjeev's session, we had mentioned that Adit Aziz was our video editor, a young boy of only 22 years old, who left for heavenly abode just last week. Most of us, or all of us in Honeycomb, were absolutely shattered. So we had decided to dedicate the entire IPW 2020, the International Photography Week, to this young chap, who. So most of the videos that you saw until last week was all done by him. And as all of us know, video plays a very, very important role in today's world, because video and photos are what people identify with rather than a lot of text. So he was the one. We did dedicate 2 minutes of silence for him for that. If you look out into the screen, the face, the enigma that he had, but I think God had different plans for him. We do wish that wherever he is listening to us. His smiling face does encourage a lot of folks at Honeycomb to keep working. In fact, until his last day, he was still working on our videos. It's very difficult for a lot of us to even believe that he's no more, but we definitely hope that he comes back in a better form in the next life. And we wanted to dedicate all this IBW to him. Salute to you, champ.
Yeah, we'll play the national anthem.
Yeah, we request you to please stand up for the national anthem. Right. Thank you very much. I think that what you just saw defines the national integration for Honeycomb, for all of us and all of India. Like Deepak mentioned, so that's India. That's all of us. And like I said, I just wanted to quickly show you, what we started with, which is this picture of Dr. Sanjeev, which is the elephant. He started with the Ganesha invocation, if you remember, on day 1, and we ended up on with Deepak with his closing shot. So like in photography, we always mention that, the opening shot and the closing shot matters a lot. So I just wanted to tell you that, we all will miss you, but do not worry, we'll come back soon with many more. And you should be having a lot more content, a lot more master classes, a lot more inspirational sessions that will help all of us learn. So Shri Kumar, you want to say something?
Yes, Mithun. In fact, I just wanted to say a few words to all the people. I would like to thank Deepak. His energy and liveliness has his own way of wooing people through his wonderful knowledge sharing session on travel photography. Thank you so much, Deepak. And I would like to, without, actually this webinars wouldn't have happened without our director, Mr. Nofel, showing us the way and trusting us with this new experiment. Kudos to the entire team, Mithun for moderating the session in such a beautiful manner, Vinay, Georgie, Mahashweta, Sanisha, Akhil, Harish, and our late Adat for working vigilantly and extensively. Our hard work has paid off finally and made this into a phenomenal success. Thank you, all the participants. You have made this a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, absolutely. And I think Deepak, we should have a round of applause for you and all the speakers and all the participants. Let's give a clap for the wonderful show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Really, really. And I'm sat here 3,500 miles away, and I'm very happy to share it with my Indian family.
Wonderful. Yeah, and like I said, I had promised you that the finale is going to be extravaganza, bonanza. So that's why we have to take 1 hour of your time extra. I hope you did not mind. On a Saturday evening or late evening for people in India. So thank you very much. And until we see you again, please stay safe. Please do travel. Please do travel with any one of us. Please do travel with your friends, in fact, and try not to go solo. Because friendship is what, at the end of the day, is a memorable experience. So keep clicking and stay with us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, good.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night. Good night. Bye.
Everyone.